Wrapping up July and my Canadian band series. This is going to be my top 10 favorite bands, including this amazing band here, The Band. Come in and have a look. Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hoping a great morning this morning. It is Wednesday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, July I've been featuring all kinds of Canadian bands. Um, some that I have in my collection, some that I don't. So I thought I'd wrap up July as it's almost the end of the month with my favorite 10 Canadian bands, and I'm going to rank them from I don't want to say the worst to the best because none of these are the worst. So these are just going to be my top 10 Canadian bands from 10 to 1. We've got a ton of awesome bands and artists in Canada. And again, I own quite a few of them on different formats. But I'm not ranking these by popularity or how well they do in the charts, but how much I enjoy these bands. I know I could have added 1,000 other, I shouldn't say 1,000. I know I could have added 100 more bands. And I could have shown many, many more. Could have been a top 20, top 30, top 50. But I'm just going to keep it at 10. Please don't shoot the messenger, though. You missed this one. You didn't include this one. I get those all the time. These are my top 10. They may not be yours, but these are the bands that I truly enjoy and love and play often. Also, I don't say this often, but a ton of viewers on my channel watch my videos, but they're not subscribed to my channel. So I just ask kindly, take that extra second, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button as well, because it helps me out. It also helps you guys out because it just lets you know when my next video is coming up, and I truly, truly appreciate that. So let's get started here. At number 10, and again, not the worst, I have Moxy. Formed in Toronto in 1973. Great, amazing hard rock and heavy metal. They hit the stage at 75. They also had a big hit, Can't You See I'm a Star? And then they began touring the States on the strength of that hit. Many markets in the States include Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit, San Antonio. Started to notice these guys. Joe Anthony, the Godfather, rocked in San Antonio and Kiss FM. Was really responsible for the popularity of the band in Texas. And then they highlighted and headlined and were part of the AC/DC opening act in 1977, which really just skyrocketed the popularity of these guys. These guys have had some amazing artists play with them. Tommy Bolin joined in on their first album. You had Mike Reno before he joined Loverboy as a lead singer on one of the albums. The band has also been compared to Aerosmith, early Rush, Led Zeppelin. Their first 3 albums are a must for any hard rock fan. So at number 10, Moxy, for sure. At number 9, the underrated Max Webster. This is their last album, but one of my favorites. Formed in Toronto in 1972. Their music is a combination of hard rock and progressive rock. In 2023, they were inducted in the Canadian Walk of Fame. They only had 6 albums released between 1976 and 1981, but each one is so unique and good. Led by the fantastic Kim Mitchell. Yeah. On guitars and vocals. Very underrated guitarist, by the way. Amazing, amazing stuff. The band had two lead singers, Kim Mitchell, of course, and Terry Watkinson on keyboards and synthesizers and vocals. Two completely different singers. Kim was more the hard rock edged. Terry Watkinson was more the progressive um, style singer. An amazing lyricist as well. And of course, they had a main lyricist in Pi Dubois, which provided some unique lyrics. You've got the theatrical quality of early Queen. You got the progressive weirdness of Frank Zappa going on. You got the hard and heavy hard rock, some great pop stuff as well in the band. Um, Kim Mitchell on an interview referred to Max Webster as Rush's cousin, younger cousin, because he toured with Rush all the time. And that kind of opened a door for Max Webster because they were introduced as all these fans that had never seen them before. So they helped gain a dedicated following. This one here, actually, Universal Juveniles. There's a track on here called Battle Scar, which is a collaboration with the members of Rush, and it's one of the hardest, heaviest tracks ever. Amazing stuff. In number 9, Max Webster. At number 10, Saga. From Oakville, Ontario, just around Toronto area. 1977, formed. The music is a combination of progressive rock, new wave, and power pop. Yes, these are definitely a progressive rock band. 22 studio albums this band has released in between 1978 and 2021. 9 live albums, a ton of comps and singles. Definitely an amazing band for sure. I love their symphonic rock and highly accessible 80s style synth pop as well. You got that dynamic and soaring vocal delivery of Michael Sadler. The wonderful, wonderful guitar work of lead guitarist Ian Critchen, who are both the main songwriters in the band as well. And all their albums include what's called chapters, which is a concept beginning from pretty much their first album, which is a narrative about Albert Einstein and an alien race. And then you have to kind of mix and piece the tracks together like a puzzle. And then they actually released an album later on, which I don't have, but I'd love to get, called The Chapters, which is kind of cool. So they're all hidden within these all these albums. And also every album cover includes some type of insecticide alien creature on much of their album work. So here's one here. It looks like a butterfly, but if you look closely, it's an alien with his arms crossed. So awesome band in Saga. If you don't need these guys, for sure, check them out. At number 7, I don't have any of their vinyl albums anymore, but I do have this amazing box set, Bachman Turner Overdrive, from Winnipeg, Manitoba, formed way back in 1971. This is I believe, a 10 album set, including their debut, Bachman Turner Overdrive 2, my favorite, Not Fragile. Then you have Four Wheel Drive, Head On, Freeways, Street Action, and their final album, Rock and Roll Nights. These guys are just awesome. One of the heaviest Canadian bands out there for sure. Hard rock, boogie rock. You got the classic lineup of Ronnie Bachman, who left the Guess Who because he didn't like the party atmosphere of the Guess Who, and formed his own band on vocals and lead guitar. Robbie Bachman, his brother, on drums. Ted Bachman, the other brother, on rhythm guitar. And Fred Turner on bass and vocals. These guys had 7 top 10 albums, 5 in the US, 11 top 10 singles, 6 in the US, 6 certified platinum albums in Canada. They had 5 certified gold albums and 1 certified platinum album in the States. 30 million albums sold worldwide. Just remarkable. In 1974, brother Tim Bachman was replaced with Blair Thornton on lead guitar, which kind of skyrocketed the band because he could play dual lead with Randy. These guys were just a classic example of 70s blue collar rock with heavy fuzz guitars, gritty working class anthems. Fred Turner had that growly voice, and Randy was a higher tenor type of voice, but the two blended together and made a fine band out of Bachman Turner Overdrive. At number 6, these rankings were hard, by the way. They weren't easy. But at number 6, you got April Wine. Canadian band formed in 1969, originally based in Halifax, Nova Scotia, led by singer-songwriter Miles Goodwin, who we lost a few years ago. They eventually moved to Montreal. That was their home base. They had some moderate success, not as much in the States as they wanted to, but they were huge in Canada. Top 40 singles, 21 different songs. They had huge hits. You Could Have Been a Lady, Tonight's a Wonderful Night, Time to Fall in Love, Roller, I Like to Rock, Sign of a Gypsy Queen, Just Between You and Me. 16 studio albums over their career. They're still touring. I haven't heard anything from the newer reformed band, but these guys just delivered a blue-collar, no-nonsense arena rock sound. I love their tight triple guitar rock attack, how they blend hard rock grit with so many great, wonderful ballads. They should have been bigger than they were, but there's the 3 guitarists there with Miles Goodwin in the middle. Fantastic singer, fantastic guitarist, and the rest of the band down here. But yeah, amazing stuff. At number 6, April Wine. Here we go, top 5. Any one of these bands I've just mentioned before this could be in the top 5 at any given day, depending on my mood, depending on how I feel, depending on what I'm listening to that particular day. So any one of these top 10s could change at any time. But at number 5, now these are 75% Canadian, 25% American. Steppenwolf. It's another box set. I've got 2 box sets from the later years, and this is from the beginning years. You've got some amazing stuff in here. I won't go through all of them, but this one here, Steppenwolf 7, one of the greatest live albums, Steppenwolf Live. You got Monster, early Steppenwolf, some early stuff from the band. At Your Birthday Party, the second, just amazing stuff. I know these aren't in order, but I've been listening to this one. Also, the debut, Steppenwolf. I should have showed that one first. Again, they're all mixed up because I've been listening to them in different order. But Canadian-American rock band formed in L.A. in 1967. Founded by Canadian singer-songwriter, rhythm guitarist John Kay, keyboardist Goldie McJohn, and drummer Jerry Edmonton. They were all part of the Canadian band The Sparrows. And then when they got to L.A., they put out a notices in different record and musical instrument stores, and recruited guitarist Michael Monarch and bassist Rustin Morev from L.A. So again, 75-80% Canadian, 20% or 25% American. Still amazing stuff. 25 million records sold worldwide, 7 gold, 1 platinum. 13 Billboard Hot 100 singles, all above filled with psychedelic rock, blues rock, acid rock, hard rock, garage rock, and one of the earliest mentions of heavy metal in one of their tracks for sure. Um, I think one of my favorites for sure. They were kind of the pioneers of hard rock and heavy metal. You got John Kay's gruffy vocals, distorted organ, heavy blues rock. Not so much lead guitar, but just the psychedelic stuff going on in all of these albums makes Steppenwolf my top 5 band. Number 5. At number 4, the band, another combination of Canadian and American, but these guys are more like 90% Canadian, 10% American. This is one of the greatest albums ever for sure. You've got a band formed in Toronto. Canadians Rick Danko on bass guitar, guitars, lead vocals, fiddle, Garth Hudson, keyboards, organ, accordion, saxophone, Richard Manuel, piano, drums, lead vocals, Robbie Robertson, guitar, piano, percussion, writing the majority of the tracks, all Canadian, and then American Levon Helm on drums, vocals, mandolin, guitar, bass, and lead vocals as well. I love their Americana, roots rock, folk rock, country rock. Unfortunately, none of them are around anymore. They're all gone. But between 1958 and 63, they were part of the Hawks, backing up rockabilly singer Ronnie Hawkins, who was based in Toronto. And in the mid-60s, they joined Bob Dylan on his electric band tour. That was a difficult time for the band. And they were just simply known as the band. So after leaving Dylan, they just basically changed the name to the band. Every band member is a multi-instrumentalist. And again, Canadian Robbie Robertson had that ability to capture Americana like no one else, even coming from Canada. He just had that talent to make and write some amazing, amazing songs. So yeah, at number 4, the band. At number 3, the Tragically Hip. Formed in Kingston, Ontario in 1984. If you don't know these guys, you are missing out for sure. Kingston is just about 45 minutes east of here. You got vocalist Gord Downey, unique vocalist and frontman Gord Downey, guitarist Paul Langlois, guitarist Rob Baker, bassist Gord Sinclair, and drummer Johnny Fay. 13 studio albums, 2 live albums, 2 EPs, 50 singles over a 33-year career. 9 of their albums reached number 1 in Canada. They received numerous Canadian Music Awards, 17 Juno Awards. The Tragically Hip were the best-selling Canadian band and the fourth best-selling Canadian artist overall. Their music is a combination of alternative rock, roots rock, folk rock. They had or Gord Downey in his writing. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He passed away of brain cancer. But he had that ability to capture Canadian lore and Canadian history and mix it in with all their songs. That's why maybe they didn't fit in with the States, because the States didn't know any of these towns or happenings in Canada, the lore of Canada. He was an amazing poet, a charismatic frontman. They stood out amongst other similar bands because of that fact as well. They're just fantastic. I think a true time period of Canadian history that we miss for sure. So at number 3, Tragically Hip. At number 2, I just found this one early last week. I never had any live stuff from these guys, so I found the Guess Who live at Paramount. So at number 2, the Guess Who. One of the greatest Canadian bands ever. This is a later version of the Guess Who, but formed in Winnipeg in 1958. They had their greatest success between 69 and 72. Hard rock, psychedelic rock, blues rock, garage rock. The classic original lineup included Burton Cummings on vocals and keyboards, Randy Bachman on guitar, Jim Cale on bass, and Gary Peterson on drums. Randy left the band in 1970 as he had to leave because of illness, but also at the time the other guys were partaking in all kinds of stuff that Randy didn't really believe in. He was a Mormon, and he had different beliefs, and more of a straight guy, married, and didn't agree with the psychology of the band, so he left. He went on to form Bachman Turner Overdrive, which I showed earlier. But when he left, the band replaced him with 2 lead guitarists, Kirk Winter on guitars and Greg Alusky on guitars. Tribute to Randy Bachman being replaced by 2 guitarists. That's how good he was. I love their musicianship, their catchy tracks, sung amazingly by one of the greatest vocals of the 70s in Burton Cummings. Their hits are given to be included amongst classic rock fans. Their 1970 album American Woman, which I showed in one of my previous videos, and I've showed it a ton of times. That helped them become the first Canadian group to hit number 1 in the U.S. And they're just an outstanding a bunch of artists. Burton Cummings is still singing. Actually, Burton and Randy are on kind of a remembrance tour, doing all kinds of stuff, and yeah, fantastic. Unfortunately, this is only a single album, but I wish I had more. But yeah, at number 2, the Guess Who. And it's probably obvious that my number 1 favorite band is Rush. Truly amazing. Formed in Toronto in 1968, the band's original lineup included Alex Lifeson on guitar, drummer John Rutsey, and bassist and vocalist Jeff Jones. No, Geddy was not in the original lineup. Jeff Jones left shortly after, replaced by Geddy Lee, who was friends with Alex Lifeson at the time. They lived not too far away, went to the same school, and they toured on. The band went through a bunch of lineup changes over the next 6 years, and then they released this amazing debut album, simply titled Rush, kind of Led Zeppelin-y like. It's just remarkable stuff. But John Rutsey wasn't the greatest, healthiest person. A fantastic drummer, by the way. But he had diabetes, didn't want to tour. So they were in need of a drummer, and this tall, lanky guy showed up with this tiny little drum kit, and it was Neil Peart, and of course the rest is history. In 1974, this all happened. And that lineup remained the same throughout the rest of their career until 2015. Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart, which is rare for a band to stick around and remain the same over those years. Mainly because they were the best of friends. They respected each other, and just remarkable. Neil Peart wrote most of their songs, 90% of their songs, I would say, where Alex and Geddy wrote the music for the songs, and each built around each. I've got all their studio albums in many formats, including this one, Rush 50, starting off with them playing in high schools, and the sound isn't that great, right through till their last efforts. Amazing stuff. This one, Rush 50. Their music is a combination of progressive rock and hard rock and heavy metal. As the years went by, the band changed with time, which is understandable, but remained some of the greatest musicians in rock history. Everyone talks about Geddy's bass and Neil's drumming, but Alex Lifeson is such an amazing guitarist, highly underrated. Fits amongst some of the top guitarists ever. In 2024, Rush ranks 90th in the U.S. With sales of 26 million albums. Their total worldwide album sales is 42 million, over 42 million. That was in 2024. 14 platinum, 3 multi-platinum albums in the U.S., 17 platinum albums in Canada. Rush was nominated for 7 Grammy Awards, won 10 Juno Awards, International Achievement Awards, inducted in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in '94, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2013. Even the critics consider these guys some of the greatest musicians and one of the greatest rock bands of all time. And as I said earlier, their music changed over time. So you've got the prog rock era, 1974 to 1979, sorry. Early albums like 2112, A Farewell to Kings. You got the commercial era, 1980 to 85, albums like Permanent Waves and Moving Pictures. The synth era, 1982 to 1987, albums like Signals and Power Windows. And the later years, 1990s to 2012, where Rush stripped back the heavy synths and returned to more guitar-driven, intense rock albums like Counterparts. And their final album, which is a concept album called Clockwork Angels, one of their strongest albums ever, and just remarkable, just remarkable. The Garden, the very last song on the very last album, is a tearjerker, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful album. Rush remains one of the most respected and unique, talented power trios in the history of rock music, and at number one, my favorite Canadian band. So there you have it, guys. There's my rock series, Canadian rock series, for the month of July. It's been a blast showing you guys and sharing with you all these wonderful Canadian bands. I truly, truly am proud of all these bands, proud to be Canadian, and happy to share it with you guys. So that's it. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all. We'll talk again soon. Bye now.